So hello everybody, it's me, Demetra K, and I'm sitting here with WLCoulter, a verbal herb, and it is Wealth Wednesdays. I want to say right up front, I might freeze up every once in a while. Not my fault. It's the internet service around here in Houston. It's terrible. But anyway, on Wealth Wednesdays, we are going to discuss a video that has been trending, featuring that of Trina. You know Trina, she's the rapper from Miami, along with that of Saucey Santana. And you guys will see who he is in just a few. He's also a rapper from Miami. And they have a message for us in regards to voting. But we're going to get into that in just a second. I'd like to say hello and a big giant thank you to YouTube and Facebook, the other side of the conversation. You all are not just viewers, but you are participants because we do read your questions, comments, and concerns. And if you guys are new here, Walter is our financial guru. And again, sorry if I'm freezing up a little bit, but it'll come back. Walter's our financial guru, where he has worked with a whole host of people, celebrities, athletes, and just everyday people to try to help us save, earn, and money, obviously, and do better financially. And so he does have very great advice. We're going to get into all that. So if y'all have any questions, comments, or concerns about finances, please throw them in the comment section. I want to say straight up out the top, we are not licensed, if you will, or anything like that. We're just giving, advice that we have taken and that we were doing things like that. But again, there's a lot of people who say that it's been very helpful. So who came on here? Kimmy, what's going on with you? Freddie B, he said buttermilk biscuit time. And RG Titan 901, how you doing? He says massive flick, some crumbs for Trina and this thing. And next, Kara, how you doing? You say, I'm so glad you're talking about this foolishness. Yes, indeed. A Nubian cutie one. How are you? Big Rich, what's going on? Rain, Don, how you doing? And Lady Princess, Acrylic Kingdom, what's going on with you? Stacy and Mr. Exo. Again, y'all, forgive my internet. Hopefully it'll pick up the speed again. It's Houston, is not me. So anyway, Walter, what say you before we get started?
No, it's cool to be back to the States for a few minutes till I leave again. And I don't know what this person you're talking about. I know Trina from Trick Daddy in Miami from when I was in the music industry, but I don't know Silky Santana, Silky Smooth, or whatever his name is. But I did watch an episode of Love and Hip Hop this morning at like 4 a.m. and I will never be the same. Lord mercy. On the internet, you go through like Bloomberg and all these channels, and I was trying to find a channel to watch, and Love and Hip Hop came on. It was like 5 a.m. I think I woke my neighbor's cat with all the screaming. That shit is nuts. So,
All right. So, and JB1, if I didn't already, how are you? And OG Fritz Roy, how are you doing? Yes, indeed, no reparations, no vote. All right. Crazy Rain. So I'm going to show y'all this video again. I apologize for me freezing up a little bit. Hopefully it'll come back in. But here is the message that Trina and Saucey has for us. Y'all ready? Here you go.
No voting, no loving, no voting, no touching, no voting, no nothing, no voting, no fucking, no voting, no fuck, no voting, no loving, no voting, no touch, no voting, no nothing, no voting, no fucking, no voting, no. Look for some action. Swear the homie Scott was heavy. Face is a 9, abs a 10, D is a to be determined. He got mad jokes, he don't seem broke. The only red flag, this midterms for all the single Q. Wanna hit this booty, gotta do your civic duty. No voting, no loving, no voting, no touching, no voting, no nothing, no voting, no fucking, no voting, no fuck, no voting, no loving, no voting, no touching, no voting, no nothing. No voting, no fucking, no voting, no fucking.
Yeah, don't stop now. Stop my ballot box again. But my homegirl through. Put the buying partisan. He's so nasty. Show you how to be a pole worker. Legs in the air, I don't care. Anyone could get it. Universal health care. If you wanna come before the deadline. Come in the jacuzzi, gerrymander this cool.
No love, no voting, no touch, no voting, no nothing. Can't let me down, gotta stand up for something. No voting, no love, no voting, no touch, no voting, no nothing. hoes. Period.
Stop it. Please tell me that's just a joke.
So originally, I thought it was a joke. When I saw it, I was like, nah, surely this can't be real. So let me go ahead and give y'all a little background. So Saucey Santana is I'm assuming he goes by a man with a beard and a BBL. A BBL is a Brazilian butt lift. And yes, he does have a big, giant booty. And, the hips and everything. It's, he's gotten the surgery and everything. He's got the nails and the eyelashes and, the makeup and all of that. He calls himself a material girl. Also, y'all saw there the iconic Trina, who's been around the hip-hop industry for a while. And I don't think it's a secret that Trina is, a little bit on the nasty side. And so you guys heard her illustrate. Now, y'all might have saw a phrase they were using, let me make sure I say it right now. No voting, no voting, no vucking, okay? Now, they moved the F and they put the V in, and y'all know, y'all smart enough to put that together. So now this BLK app, and again, sorry if I'm freezing. This BLK app is a dating app for Black people. So recently, that particular app put a center for voting in there, if you will, because they said that 80% of their people that are registered to the app says that they are registered to vote, but 50% of those people don't even know when the midterm elections are. So they put that particular center in the app, so it's an in-app service to educate people about voting and things like that. Now, the video that we just saw is part of that campaign, no voting, no vucking. And they actually have a website, novoting.com. So basically the premise is if you get with somebody on this app and they don't vote, then you don't give them, whatever it is you want to give them. And so they also, the people who made that video is also the maker of the Vax That Thing Up. Vax That Thing Up was Juvenile, Mia X, and Manny Fresh, I believe it was, where they were saying, vax that thing up, like back that thing up. But of course, they were talking about the jab, trying to get everybody jabbed up. And so the question that we want to answer is Money Wednesday. And I know Walter is blown away by this, as you guys. Why do they, or how about this? Why don't they do that to other communities? Why don't they give other communities the low-hanging fruit, right? And when I say low-hanging fruit, and again, y'all, I know y'all can hear me. I'm kind of glitching a little bit. But the low-hanging fruit is we going to talk underneath their clothes, below the belt. We're going to talk about fish fries and electric slides and wobbling at the polls. And we even going to send some strippers on the bus to pick up people to go to the polls. We're going to stroll to the polls, the Chucks and the pros. So why don't they do that to anybody else's community? Walter, hold that thought. I want to say hello to everybody that came on here really quick. I know that was a doozy, y'all. I was just a shock when I saw it. And Lady Princess, she says, it's a end of days for me, okay? And Jean Michael, how you doing? Says, hey now, greetings. I was gonna just sit back in the cut and observe, but what the F is this mess and who put them up to these tactics? Ha ha. Yes, indeed. Stacey says they are serious, unfortunately. And Brother Jonelle, how you doing? He says mental slavery is a hell of a drug. And Don, you say these washed up rappers always taking the Democrats bad. Now that's the thing, though. Doesn't say if it's the Democrats or Republicans. I think we know who sent them, right? I think we are smart enough to know who sent them because that's normally the Democrats, shtick, right? Let's give them low hanging fruit, get them to the polls. And Rain, you say he don't even have a thing, a woman thing downstairs, even though, he says that he does. Brother Al, how you doing? Says, after that video, if you see me on a chair with a rope, please kick me. No, we ain't. It's not that bad. Nubian Cutie said that is sad. Yes, indeed. And Michael, how you doing? Says, shaking his bougie cat. Yuck. Lady Princess says, Trina ain't an icon. She is kind of iconic. I mean, I know some people don't like Trina, but Trina's been around for a while. And she was kind of one of the pioneers of that whole genre of female rappers. And I'm not saying the genre is good, but I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I do work out to Trina, you know, because I like some of Trina's stuff, but this right here is like, oh, man. All right. And so Antisocial, Naj, how you doing? It says voting red all across the board this election. A lot of people are saying that. Mr. Thunder, how you doing? Rain says, get your books at the polls. You're crazy. Extreme X, how you doing? And let's see here. Let me see who else came on here. Monet, how you doing? Yes, JB Wayne says, always black target. You better believe it. Freddie says, they think black people are so predictable, but aren't we? AB Promotions, how you doing? Says, the disrespect is at this point a straight mockery. I'm good with the vote blue, no matter who team. Yes, indeed. Yes, all of that, Mr. X. Get your booty to the polls. Thunder says, notice it's something laugh out loud dirty, but some reason they never mention anything about policy. Exactly. Miss Moni, how you doing? And T-Bone, what's going on with you? Says, and the sad part is they know there's a huge part of our community that responds to this crap like this. You better believe it. Darius, how you doing? Says, I'm voting Republican because of this video. You know what? I said the same thing. I was like, whatever they voting for, I'm voting the opposite. And Jesse, how you doing? He says, Black First, Foundation of Black American, Denver, Colorado, hashtag Frontline Black News. Says, first get booty to the polls. Now this is the Democrats doing this. Yeah, I would imagine it probably is. March Baby, how you doing? Says, but the Democrats don't need our votes. Immigrants are the future. The Democrats said, yes, indeed, a nerdy by nature. I like that. How you doing? Says, she called the protesters in her own city animals. They want to tell us how to vote. Yeah, I remember that when Trina tweeted that. And T-Bone says, no reason to vote. So, Walter, why don't they do that to anybody else's community? And I'm going to jump back and forth in the comment section here and there, but I am looking at your comments. So why don't they do that to anybody else's community?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't have the real answer. This when I think we can get no lower, you know, I'm just like, damn, we just, you know, black people, we were buried 6 feet under the ground, but now we 6.5 feet. I don't know what the fuck else. I mean, like, damn, just give booty to the one you love. Like, now we got to have a job, pay for everything. Now we got to vote for a certain person to get some booty for 45 minutes for 4 years of trickery. I'll pass. You know, it's a self-esteem thing. We got to, like, you know, the crazy part is, like, you talk about the white man and all these things that people say are hurting black people. Like, I think even they're like, what the fuck? Like, we weren't going to do them this bad. I think even there's a Klansman somewhere going, damn, what can we do to help these folks? Like, what in the world? But there's somebody listening to it, though. There's somebody listening to it, right? I mean, it's probably got 1 million views or 10 million views. So I have no idea who that dude is. I don't know what this video is until I just saw it.
Yeah, so
I'm shocked.
I knew you would be. And that was the first time Walter saw that. So if y'all came in late, I showed the video of Trina and Saucey Santana, you know, basically saying, I guess, withhold sex from your partner that you might meet on the dating app if they do not vote. And Saucey Santana, you know, is a man. I guess he identifies as a man. Sometimes calls himself a material girl, city girl. I don't know. BBL, beard, nails, and eyelashes, and, you know, all of that. But I would say this. I don't believe they do that to other communities because other communities as a whole, they think, right? They would be highly insulted if they came to them with anything remotely close to what they bring to us as the black voter. It's almost to insinuate, it is not even almost, they're insinuating that black people, we can't think intelligently about politics or anything like that. But if you really ask the question, do we as black people vote or think intelligently about the political process? Some of us do, but as a collective, I would say no, because we continuously vote for a party that does nothing for us, but they benefit completely off of us. And so, of course, we know why they did that. It's midterms coming up in November. So what, less than, I don't know, roughly a month or so at this point. And so the Democrats in some cases are, and again, there's no proof that it's the Democrats that's behind this, but again, we've seen this playbook before. So in some situations, Democrats are in battle. Like that in Georgia, where Ralph Warnock and Herschel Walker are fighting for the Senate seat. Now, it sounds like Ralph Warnock is ahead a little bit, but he should be kicking the behind of Herschel Walker, but he's not in the polls. And even though Herschel Walker is like the lights are on, but nobody's home type of situation. And, you know, Stacey Abrams, she wants to be the governor of Georgia. She's having a hard time because she says she needs black men to get behind her. And so that particular app, the BLK app, the dating app for black people, they're actually trying to more so reach younger black voters to get them to turn out. But as a young black voter, and of course, I'm not talking about myself, I'm not that young, but I think the young black voters should be insulted because, for one, yeah, that's the kind of music I guess the young people listen to. But I think if I was a younger person and they were catering or they were fashioning that message to me, I would say, well, I could listen to that music, but I don't want to listen to that music and hear my artist, favorite artist, or whatever, telling me to vote, and then they're being so disgusting about it. I mean, y'all heard the words they were saying. They were saying a whole lot. They interchanged the word effing for fucking, you know, and like, we should really be very insulted. They should never, ever think that they could do that to us again.
Well, I tell you why they can do it. First of all, they don't even have to say who to vote for. They know the type of people that listen to that ignorant shit are Democrats for the most part. They just know they don't even have to say vote for this party. They just say vote. I mean, like, say what you want about the Republicans, and there's some wild folks over there, some honky-tonk lynch a nigger folks on that side. They're both sides are screwed up. I mean, I get the point. Sometimes I feel like saying the hell with it. They're all crooks. But like watching stuff like that, I think just pushing people that are on the fence, I think it just pushes them over. I think the Democrats are killing themselves. Because deep down inside, I think most people consider themselves decent individuals. You know, even if you're not, there's got to be something in you that goes, damn. Like, that's how I want my people represented. Like, man, I just, you know, it's going to sound really fucked up, but I just want to be able to walk outside as a black man and go, look at my folks. Man, we got to, like, man, I don't know. And I don't know who this big booty dude is or whatever y'all calling him. Somebody need to kidnap his ass. Like, you know what? That's what the Jews do. Some of these races.
I get it, but you know, on this thing, we got to be careful because you know. Wait. And I'm gonna say this to y'all in the comment section. Y'all know on these things we really can't go say the things we really want to say about certain communities. So let's just try to figure out ways to do that without really doing that. Because I get it. I mean, I think, you know, Saucey Santana is problematic as well. I mean, Saucey Santana, that's his name. He was even saying at one point in time that black women need to start taking their tips on how to be a woman from gay dudes. And it's like, okay, wait a minute now. But I got so much to say about that. Maybe I'll get into it a little bit. I don't want to do it right now. But I just want to say, just kind of tread lightly because of, you know, what we're on. But go ahead.
I don't know. First of all, if we stop giving people like that a platform, sooner or later they'll have to fizzle out. Like, it's okay. Like, we do this whole cancel movement for people. You know, the crazy thing about the cancel movement, a lot of people that they cancel, their point is actually on point. A lot of those people are right. They just don't like the way that is said. You know what I'm saying? Like, they tried to cancel Dave or Bill Maher, whoever the people they try and cancel. A lot of those people are right. People are just soft as hell. And then you got this dude. So, like, you got your sons and daughters and men. And listen, I don't have a problem with your sexuality. I could care less. If you're gay, straight, it doesn't matter. But let's not infiltrate the other side. If you feel a certain way, then be that way. Like, and black women, please tell me you're not watching this shit. you guys, black women, you need to go out. You need to grab these black men. They are being one by one. Like, if you want to be gay, cool. I don't have a problem with that. But like to lean over to the other side and say, come on now. Black women, you ought to be pissed. Number one. And it's your rights that are being affected the most. I mean, like, look how they did to Sister Girl in the Supreme Court. Like, look at that. Like, look how they set her up, asking her, what is a woman? The poor girl can't even answer the damn question. She can't be like, well, a woman got some of these and some of this, and that's what a woman look like. She can't even be like, I'm a woman. Because you got everybody. It's crazy. Black women, y'all need to step up. Black men, too. This shit is getting out of control. I'm telling you so. And maybe kidnapping was the wrong word, but just like maybe cancel. Those are the folks who need to cancel. And you know what? This is what black people are doing today. Like, I get it. We take a moment out and do this shit. But like, the world financially, and this is a money show, right? It's crumbling. It's crumbling. I've been out of the stock market for a long time, and now I'm back in it. And it's going insane. The world is literally crumbling financially under our feet. Everything is going on. Like California, the drought, 3 years, like lakes, they're finding like boats and bodies and like lakes that were lakes. They're finding all kinds of stuff. Food, if you go into some of our stores, a lot, like you go to Target, a lot of the shit is missing off the shelf. Like there's a lot of stuff, like oil prices have all came down from 100 to 80, but gas prices are still going up. There's a lot of stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, who can tell me what JP Morgan traded at today? You know what I'm saying? During the pandemic, it was $90. It went up to 160, almost 170. It's back down to almost 100. It's shopping time. But instead of doing this shit, the stuff we can use to get ahead, this is, and I know we got to address it on these shows, but damn, I guarantee you this shit is consuming the race.
Well, and I want to say this, and I hello to everybody came on there, and Dad Eddie, I hope I said that right. How you doing? He says this guy is hello Melanin Future, says this guy is dropping profanity left and right and ignorance, but complaining about respect in the black community. Well, sometimes we cuss a little bit. I hope
y'all can kiss my ass. Y'all watch Steve Harvey and Bill Bellamy and all those guys cuss. Some of y'all, you watch Steve Harvey cuss your ass out on Saturday and show up and preach on Sunday. Miss me with that shit. Y'all gotta be kidding me. The shit we listen to as black people, you gotta be kidding me.
Well, we do want to keep it cussing to a minimum. You know?
I'll keep it to a minimum, but go find another channel with that ignorance. It's funny. Y'all take the bathwater and you throw the baby out and then put the bathwater in a cup and drink it. Y'all be killing me with that stuff. There you go. There's a better word.
Moving right along.
New to the chat.
So no, and how you doing, Donovan? He says, don't ever speak against black women. Black men, sit down, shut up until we ask you. Oh my God. I was gonna say, so you said that, you know, we as black women should, I guess, try to do something about Saucey Santana. I would say that we cannot do anything. That is his preference. However, I've always kind of had this complaint, okay? I do see a lot of sisters co-signing that, you know, Saucey Santana, for lack of better words, saying, ooh, child, ooh, girl, you know, that you get it, girl. I see all that, and I'm like, I mean, I don't think we should, it's not our place to be against them, but like, should we really be wholeheartedly co-signing that? That's kind of where I'm at with it. But if he wants to run around with a big giant booty and a beard, he'll never be in bed with me. So that's kind of how I see it. Kiki, how you doing? And say, hey, awesome people. Yeah, I finally caught a Wednesday with Walter live, laugh out loud. Yes, indeed, Brother Reggie. He says, it's shopping time for real. Google dipped below $100 and I picked up some up. Don't sleep, folks. Yes, so, you know, as you said, Walter, you made a good point. Are we even watching the stock market at all? And Mr. Branch, how are you doing? Says facts panelist. And Jan Michael, he says crumbling. Can anyone say depression? Always keep a spare tire, always. Yes, indeed. And then the L Boogie, if I didn't already, hello, how you doing? You say Tell it, brother. And John, he says, I can't stand selective outrage. Yeah, and unfortunately, that's kind of what we got going on in our community. It's selective outrage, and then we go away until something else comes up for us to be mad about. On there, she say, cuss it up, homie. Or we want Walter to be himself, but we want him to keep it to a minimum. And Melanin says, I feel you, man. Kiki says, are y'all talking about Trina the rapper? Who's Saucey Santana? Kiki, ain't you in Florida? You don't know who Saucey Santana is? He's a material girl. He got the BBL and the beard, and he walks around with the nails and the eyelashes and, all of that other stuff.
That is not right. And let me tell you, and people that know me know how I feel about this Billy Porter syndrome.
Yes, however,
my ass, black women, I know what you go through to get dressed, do your hair, your nails, and I know how hard it is to find a good black man, because I got a lot of sisters in my circle. They bitch about finding a black man to the point that they be 50 with a 30-year-old, and I'll catch them as a kid and grow them up myself. This shit should not be allowed, period. And I can't think of another race that will allow this shit. Like for instance, and this is just me. You don't have to like it, but it used to be cool to say stuff that was real, to keep it real. Now we keep it. We can't even keep it real. Oh, we can't say that. We politically correct. Man, I watched the Oscars, whatever it was, and I saw this fool come up with this gown that Beyonce would have even thought twice about wearing. That's how elegant it was. And I can't tell you who was wearing shit that night, what Beyonce had on, or anybody else, Meryl Streep. All I know is what Billy Porter had on. And all those women that did all that time to get dressed up, to be a woman and stay in their lane, and got overshadowed by this black dude in a dress, sitting front row. And all the media did is kept going over to his ass. I understand Pose is a good show. I never watched it. After loving hip hop this morning, I watched one episode and I wanted to commit suicide for the race. That's how bad I felt. I was like, do other people look at us and go like, not only are black people not watching the money, they are like down in the hole. Like there's so much going on that black people can benefit from. Like everything that's going on financially. Like real estate, let me tell you something. Real estate prices are falling. A house that was $400,000 is now $350,000. But the interest rates are so damn high, so people go, oh my God, I can't really afford it. But if the house falls from $400,000 to $350,000 and you buy the house at 6% in a year or two, when the rates go back to normal, you have a cheaper house at a low rate. And this is what I sit with my boys. We talk, and this is the shit we go through. Man, we are looking for shit. That's how come I don't know who Saucey Santana is, or Big Booty Brother, or Beard, or whatever y'all calling him. That blows me away. There's so much shit going on right now in this world. Like the dollar, I was in Europe for the last 2 weeks. The dollar against the euro, the dollar is so strong that you can go to Europe and buy stuff for 30% off. It's crazy to me. But like, there's so much going on, and this is the shit we're dealing with. There's so much opportunity. I tell you, I was in Spain and France, and I saw a lot of black people, not so much in Spain, but France. I'd love it too to go travel, and I saw black people everywhere in France. And I just, you know what I didn't see? Is the nigga Bojangle shit. I saw us like, I was like, I could get used to this. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how you guys have to travel. So you can see us in a different light. And I can just tell you, they watch this stuff over here, and I guarantee you they're just falling, they're losing it. I'm embarrassed, honestly.
And so yeah, I agree with traveling other places. We Donovan, my daughter, and I, we did go to Africa, and it's a different environment. We went to South Africa, to be exact, Johannesburg. It's a completely different environment. And yeah, I'm seeing you guys' comments in regards to that of Saucey Santana. And let me go back to this comment here. And hello, Seduction Doll. I'm gonna get right back to you. Let's see, ready to go. Go 7 days. How you doing? Says Saucey said black women learn how to. I think he meant need to learn how to be feminine from gay men. Where's the outrage from that? Yeah, I mean, I did hear that he said that, and I actually saw some black women on the internet, taking him to task, saying, "How dare you?" This, that, and the other. But then there's the other side of it where there are black women, and again, I don't really think it's for us to co-sign, because we can't tell Saucey Santana what to do. We can't make him not do one thing or the other. But I definitely don't think we should be. I don't think we should be co-signing that. You know what I mean? Because, like I said too, we complained that where the men at was like they running around in our dresses. And I know as a woman, like sometimes when I go shopping and I'm looking for certain things, I'm like, damn, I can't find certain things, and I'm like, it's probably because maybe the men are buying them. I said they might as well just go ahead and make twice as many. So, if the men are in the women's section, because there are women who want to wear that stuff, but unfortunately, a lot of times it's gone. But I agree with y'all. We shouldn't be co-signing that. But we, and I say we collectively as black women, have given people like Saucey Santana the gall, if you will, to admonish black women and say, y'all need to learn how to be feminine from us. And it's like, well, where did y'all learn it from? Or where did y'all learn how to be feminine from? Did it like fall out of the sky? So they are now, and a lot of them too, they get highly insulted when, and again, it's not for me to tell somebody what they are or not, but they get highly insulted. And y'all saw the video of Dr. Umar when he was on the panel. I think it was Fox Soul, one of their programs, and there was I'm trying to say this right, a trans woman, so a man that shifted to a woman on the panel, and Dr. Umar didn't know it was a woman, and he was saying, oh, black queen, this, that, the other. And when he found out that it was a woman, a man, he was very upset. He's like, because they should have told me. I would have addressed, he kept saying this, not my words, I would have addressed bruh differently. They should have told me bruh was a, and all of that. Yeah. But the trans woman, I hope I'm saying it right, she was like, she, I don't know, forgive me, y'all. But they were like, oh, black men, yeah, they are just basically talking down on black men. And Dr. Umar was like, how he talking down on black men when he used to be one? Or he is, biologically a man. So it's getting into like really tricky territory now. I tell y'all, it's hard for me to keep up. I ain't gonna lie.
Hey, even Nancy Gray came out and was like, you are born either a man or a woman, and people ate her alive. And you know who's doing it? It's us. Like, and black women, and it's sad. And when I mean it's sad, because the black men appears to be an extinct, I don't know. You guys have the power right now. So when you get somebody like Macy Gray, who's been gone a long time, to say, hey, no, if you're born a woman, you're a woman. If you're born a man, you're a man. Period. Like, we are confusing the hell out of our kids. Our kids are so confused. Can you imagine 20 years that the next generation, because the I don't know what generation you call them, the people in their 20s, they're done. They're like, poof, like light it up. That generation is in big trouble. Can you imagine their kids? Oh, it scares the crap out of me thinking about the influence my grandkids will have. And it's not necessarily the parents, just that generation. I'm looking for a house out of the country quick and making sure I got room for my grandkids to get on the plane. This place is going crazy. And here's the other thing, and I'm glad you said that. They're born this way. If they're born that way, then fine. Let them be that way. But to like influence these kids and be throwing it in their face all day. Like my grandson, both of them. I know for a fact, I watched my grandson, who was like 8 months at the time, stare one of my friends down. She's cute. And he stared her down. He didn't even look my way. He was like smiling. I was like, okay, he's born that way. But by the time he gets to 5th grade, he's going to be like, well, shit, maybe I'm not that way. Maybe I don't know. Like, maybe I should wear my mama's shoes. And y'all women, men too, stop letting your sons wear your oh, he looks cute in those heels. No, do not do that. We're ruining these kids. Anyways, I'm glad that we're talking about money, though. I'm going to tell you this. Here's something you could do. Let's get to the money for a second.
Well, Thunder has a question on the screen.
Yes, that's right. Is it a good idea to stack up euros and pounds? No, so here's what's going on. The dollar is stronger. So what I've done, like for instance, when I was in Europe, they asked you, do you want to spend in dollars or euros? You spend in euros because when they convert it back to dollars, you actually get more for your money because the dollar is so strong. So let's say I go to England and I buy something in their currency, by the time it's converted back to me, I'm getting a better exchange rate. So like, for instance, I know we, our people, we like flashy things and nice things. I know a lot of it comes from our ancestors. And I mean ancestors, like if you go back to Africa and you look at some of the pictures, they were gold. They had nice things. You know what I'm saying? That represented wealth. You had gold and jewelry. That was wealth to them. So when I think some of that carried over, I just wish there was a way we could build a bridge to make it look more reasonable. But for those of you who like to shop, like I told one of my boys yesterday, he said he bought his wife a $7,000 Louis purse. And so after I got up off the floor from fainting, I was like, that same purse in France is $4,000. Number one, because Louis is in Paris, right? So the house of Louis Vuitton is in Paris. So it's $7,000 in the States, but $4,000, or maybe it's like $5,000 in Paris. Not to mention, is it $5,000, so that you get a 20-30% discount. You also, and this is the reason I travel so much, because like, for instance, I got my girl a couple Louis things, nothing major, just, for her birthday, I told her I would take her to the Louis store and she could pick out a couple things. That was a strategic thing for me, because I know when we went to the Louis store, not only were they 20 to 30% cheaper, which paid for both of our plane tickets, by the way. Then I beat the casino for $3,500. Then you don't pay because they only got 1 zero, not 2. And if you land on the 0, they keep half the black. We'll talk about that later. So you don't pay tax. They wipe the tax out. So there's another 10% you get. And then when you come to the States, you're supposed to declare it. Now I'm trying to remember if I declared it or not. So on top of it being cheaper, because you buy it from the source, you save on tax. Then when you take the euro to the dollar, the euro used to be $1, 1.4 euros to 1 US dollar. Now it is like 96.95 euros to $1. So they are down 40-50% on the exchange rate. So when you look at buying a Louis bag or a Hermes belt or whatever it is, you're saving 50%, which would pay for flights for you and the person you're taking. So this is the type of stuff that I think people would probably act faster on. You understand? I'm not saying go out and buy a Louis bag, but I'm saying if that's you, go see the world and then go get it. Matter of fact, we could go to Europe and buy Louis for everybody and we could tax it. You want to pay full price? We should make some money. You understand? Yeah, I did the fresh bread and the cheese. Man, I ate 2 weeks straight. If you want to eat, go to Spain. Go to San Sebastian, Spain. The food is ridiculous till 2 a.m. You can't beat it. But don't take your kids. The drinking age is like 13 or something crazy. See, anyways, like there's a lot going on in the world. And there's so much financial opportunity. The stock market, you understand, you guys, some of the stocks are below pandemic levels. March 1st, 2020 was the low for the stock market. Some of the stocks are below that price. Do you understand? 2019, the stock market was up. March 1st, it crashed. And then the market went up. And some of us made a ton of money. The stock prices are lower than they were on March 1st. Do you understand what Fox, BBC, Bloomberg, Yahoo Finance, do you know what they're saying to their people? Like, yo, I can't believe that Facebook is $100 a share from $300. Or JP Morgan is 112 from 170. Or like even Target, Netflix is from 700 to 2 something. It's like, what? And like, it's crazy to me. It's like you like Nikes and Nikes are $200 and you walk past the store and they're $75. It blows me away. So you buy 3 pair of Nikes, sell 2, keep the spread, and you keep a pair. That's what's going on right now. And black folks were missing it because we had all these damn distractions. And I know, the Democrats promised us with civil rights that we will take care of you as long as you get rid of the man. And our race, black people, we are superheroes when it comes to get rid of the black man. And I know it wasn't black women's fault. It was just a lot going on. You have to understand civil rights and the police and pulling over black men and putting drugs in the trunk. It was a systematic annihilation of the black man. So we have to somehow turn that around. And black men, it's up to us. Like Billy Porter and what's his name? Big booty beard dude or whatever.
Saucey Santana. Donovan, you gonna make him mess around, make me send you a link. But he says all these ways.
Don't start with the hair hat stuff. Come on, D.
and forgive me, y'all, if I'm freezing up again. It's not me. It's Houston. Donovan,
man.
All these women going to jail and spending thousands of dollars on weave rather than paying their rent. What madness is this?
Man, Donovan must have had his heart broken by a hair hat chick. Hey, man, listen. If you want to wear a weave, ain't nothing wrong with it. If I was a woman, shit, I might have a weave too. I might have a couple. But pay your bills first. And while you paying rent, make sure you're paying a mortgage on something. Ain't nothing wrong with paying rent, but just make sure you're paying a mortgage on something too. I tell you, man, black people, the coolest thing is ownership. I don't care what it is. Own something. If it's a house, a car, if I got this box today. I don't even know what's in this box, but I think it's a bunch of wine. I don't know. But I know if times got tough, I could sell this. I could sell whatever's in this box. Own something. When you own something, you have power. That is why the Rothschilds and all these people, it's funny, like they go to the money. Even during war and everything, they're picking up the dollars. And whoever has the gold makes the rule. That's the golden rule. I don't care what you say. I can walk in and I can come to your church and slap the mess out of your pastor and right in the middle of his speech and come back 2 weeks later and say, I apologize. I'm sorry. I'm going to make a donation. I'm going to pay all y'all student loans. And do you know I will be forgiven? So that being the case, why not just worry about the thing that has the power? And you don't have to have a bunch of money. Actually, you should have as much as you can. Just have some to where you can make decisions. Like, yeah, brothers wearing weaves too, and that's a whole, I don't even have the energy to get into that shit. But like, black people, let's get our money together. And let's be nice to each other. I was in Costco yesterday, and a brother behind me, so a brother cashier, which in California, you rarely see a black dude at the cashier. That is rare. It used to be all the time. I don't see brothers. When I go into stores and places, I look for black dudes. And if I see a brother, I go straight to him because I want to work with our people. All races do it, so I'm not being a racist. We want to work with people that look like us, right? So there's a brother at the cashier, and his manager comes over and says, "You're closed." This brother, talking about me, she didn't say this brother, but she pointed to me like, he is your last customer. And he puts the sign up. And the brother comes behind me and starts cussing this dude out. Man, I've been standing here 10 minutes. How come you didn't tell me the line was closed? And he said, I'm sorry, sir. The sign says this lane is closed and it was there before you got here. Well, I don't care. I need to talk to a manager. And I turned around and said, my man, that sign has been there. He started cussing me out. And so we got three brothers arguing in the store, and I'm trying to defend this dude. And I'm like, man, we got to do better. Come on, man. You doing what everybody expected you to do in this line. You got 4,000 people in line. And the line is long as hell. You cussing me, you, and him, the three brothers. We in this circle of madness. We got to do better. And black men, it's okay to grow some balls and say, I'm the man of this house. I'm going to take care of my woman. Woman, not like gold digger, like I'm going to take care of her and bomb. No, I'm saying like, I got you. Women, you get behind these dudes. And you know, if I'm a woman, I want a man taking care of me. I'm like, baby, here's your lunch, here's your water. Matter of fact, I'll be at your office today around noon to tell the freaks to back up. And whatever you need, I'm here. I don't want to work. As a Black woman, I would not want to be working. I want women say, oh, I got to work. I'm going to get mine. You really want, versus being at home with the kids and at the beach and your husband come by, take his shoes off and get his feet in the sand, and he go back to work, and you make sure your family is tight. Wouldn't that be better? If I'm a woman, that's what I want. Period. I be rubbing the head, rubbing the shoulders. How you doing, baby? Everything good? Like, man, I'm not trying to be Billy Porter, but if I came back, if I came back as a woman, things would be different. Women, stop letting people attack you. It's okay to have a man or you to work with a man. It's cool.
I will say this, because I work from home, so I don't really. I mean, I have a schedule that I put myself on, but I pretty liberal. So a lot of times, if I'm out and about throughout the day, whether it's the mall, which I don't really go with very much, but anywhere, I usually will see. I see some sisters out and about, but normally I see women from other races, and they're maybe they're drinking their lattes, and they got the baby strollers, and they're going through the mall at 11, 12 o'clock in the afternoon. They don't look stressed out. They got little bags and stuff, and I'm like, well, what are they doing differently than what we are doing differently? And when I say we, I mean those women and their men, and Black women and our men. Like, what are we doing differently? Why is it that we don't see a lot of women? Not that I'm saying that the mall is the litmus test, but the point that I'm making is most of the time throughout that time of day, most people are probably somewhere at work and cannot go to the mall. And I don't know. I think a lot of their women, they have they afforded the opportunity to stay at home moms, man the household, things like that. My mom was a stay-at-home mom, so I've seen it done. My mom would, have dinner and stuff ready for us, my dad, and she took care of the household and things like that. So I've seen it done, but a lot of times when I'm out in public, that just strikes me as like, it should be more of us, to being, I guess, stay-at-home moms. I know some people don't want to do that, but I know why we don't see it as much is because a lot of sisters, have to work. They don't have the luxury of staying home and having a man, take care of them. And a lot of the women too, but I'm speaking specifically to that of Black women.
Yeah, I think, and I can tell you this, one thing about one of my friends from work, one of my good friends when I was working as a financial planner, she's a white girl, and we would go out to lunch, and she used to those stay-at-home bees, I ain't gonna say the word, and she used to always say that. And I could just feel her energy. She was like, I can't believe I'm working. And these stay-at-home bees. And she used to always say that when we would go out. White women demand to be taken care of. And then you see them. Man, if you go to family court and there's a white woman there, and the white woman will be, I can't believe this is happening. I mean, whew. Oh, man. I'm just saying it's okay. Oh, I'm probably gonna get in trouble for this, but it wouldn't be anything new for me.
Think 5 times before you speak, brother.
I'm not gonna say anything crass. I'm just saying it's okay to let nature take its course. Right? I know we get out of a line, and Black men will take responsible for that, but we have to work together to get things lined back up. I'm telling you, can you just imagine for 1 second if we would turn off the saucy big booty beer dude, Love and Hip Hop, all these shows? I think for every positive show that's on for Black people, there's probably 10 negative ones. And right now, I'm trying to think of the positive Black show that's on TV right now. And in the comment sections, because you guys, I don't watch TV, I apologize. My shit's on Hulu, or I watch, Amazon Prime as I'm falling asleep. But what positive shows do we have on right now? Like the Cosbys or the Jeffersons, even What's Happening, rerunning them. What do we have on right now? I don't have no killing, no screaming at each other. You know what I'm saying? See, but I hear what you're saying, but Black men, we need to take the power so we can protect our people. We've given Black women the reins, and they've been clear that they don't want them. It's not their job to take care of the race. No other race matter of fact, I think the only other race where that comes close is probably the Filipino race, where their women are very strong. I still don't know. I don't know what it is, and it's not my job to explain it. But like Jews, like in the Middle East, they don't even let their women drive. I mean, like, I'm not saying we need to be whacked like that or crazy, but man, we could go, and I bet you if we go back to Africa 2,000 years, I guarantee you would see the men up front. You would see the men, not the women, up there. Even the Lion King, for God's sake. It's like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Like, even like when the father was killed, Simba stepped up. I mean, I hate to go to a cartoon for a reference, but like, it's okay. See, when someone says it's too much power for a man, what they mean is I don't trust him. That's what I mean. I don't want to put my life in the hands of a man. Women, I'm going to tell you how you do that. You get with you a man, and every time he get his check, you stack some money to the side. He get paid. Oh, baby, how was your check? Oh, this week I made $1,000. Cool. I'm going to take 200 and put it over here on a rainy day. Now, if he has a password or not, it's up to y'all. But you stack and you stack and you stack. Hey, baby, do you make sure you got your life insurance and your critical illness and all that and your disability? So if you get hurt, pass away, die, end up in a wheelchair, we still straight. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to keep stacking. I'm going to keep stacking. That way, if he decides to leave you or cheating, women, it's hard for your man to leave you or cheat on you when your stuff is entangled. And here's what I mean by that. You need to know what your man has, and he needs to know what you have. And I know a lot of couples say, oh, we keep our stuff separate. That's a divorce waiting to happen.
Well, before I get into that, can you answer Thunder's question? It's been up here for a minute, and then Thunder, I'm gonna get to your other question as well. CB, how you doing? Who else came on here? And I'm gonna address the rest of y'all question. But can you answer that? Do you know the answer to that?
So I haven't looked at the European airlines, but I know airlines in general, like they've been getting hit lately. But the crazy part is when you go to the airport, they are packed. Like, D, you just jumped on a plane. I mean, you was on Spirit, for God's sake, but still, I bet you that plane had those people everywhere in the airport. The airports are packed right now. So their stock prices are getting killed, but the airports are packed. So right now, they're just suffering from from macroeconomics, from the whole economy. They're suffering. But as the smoke clears, and those airlines are packed, and their earnings start to show, I think those stocks will do well. I mean, I can't guarantee it, but like, you know, I'm looking at like Delta, American, some of the airlines that are getting killed, like Boeing right now, airline maker, you know, their competitors Airbus, but Boeing, their stock is back to pandemic levels. What do you think is going to happen when things lighten up? And I want to address this. I saw a comment about wait for interest rates to go down to buy real estate. No. That is backwards. That's what got us here in the first place. You buy real estate when stuff is on fire. That's why they call it a fire sale. You buy stuff when it's chaos. You don't walk into a Nordstrom's when everyone's like, oh, prices going up, everything is calm. No, you go into a Nordstrom's like right now, Nordstrom's, Target, Walmart, all these stores, Nike, their stock price dropped tremendously because they have backlogs of product. This Christmas I'm about to start singing a song. First of all, this Christmas, things are going to be so cheap because what they're doing right now is they're rushing to get their product to the market. Nike already said they're going to discount their shoes. So those companies are so cheap right now. You can go and buy those guys. Things are a mess. And when interest rates calm down, and if Nikes are your thing, so let's say you went out and bought 200 pair of Nikes while everything was on sale. And then when the economy's going well, you just turn around and sell them. You build an inventory. You can do that with shoes. You can do that with stocks. It doesn't matter. You can do that with all kinds of stuff. You buy things, especially real estate, now, because now lady over there is like, I want 400,000, and she's like, I want 400,000. I'm strong, but the rates go up to 6%, and she's like, you know what? Oh, I'll take 350, because what's happening now is everyone's rushing for the exits. So you buy the house for 350, and then you say, you know what? Now that I think about it, I'm gonna need closing costs, and I'm gonna need you to maybe carry part of this loan for me, which means I'm gonna pay you over a period of time. See what I'm saying? You cannot do that when interest rates are 2%. You can't negotiate prices, closing costs, and all that stuff. You know, you walk into an open house a year ago, and they were like, I remember going to an open house, as God is my witness, and there were 70 cars on the street from one open house. House is $650, worth $650. They priced it at $7. It sold for $800,000. That house right now, they couldn't get $650 for it. Some idiot put an extra $150,000 in a house a year ago, and it is Puff the Magic Dragon.
Yeah, and we actually saw that last year when the housing market was just bananas. Because I was actually trying to buy a house last year, but it was just stupid. The prices were inflated. Some of the houses we went into, I mean, literally, when the real estate agent went into the kitchen and she opened up the cabinet, and she didn't see it, but I did, because I just happened to be looking. And when I say like 15 roaches just jumped out the cabinet, like, surprise, we all screaming, and we ran out. But the point that I'm making is we saw junk, absolute junk on the market, and people were, selling it for astronomical prices, and we're getting outbidded and stuff. So, and needless to say, I went to rent, and I'm glad that I did, because one particular time, my real estate agent was like, you know what? It's a good idea. It's a good thing that you weren't able to buy now, because the people who are buying these houses now, they're actually going to be upside down in a house next year. And I was like, well, yeah, thanks for telling me now. And, it made perfect sense, because it's like after a while, it is going to come down. And to your point, a lot of people, they're trying to sell, which is still, I guess a seller's market. There's a buyer's market too. But now they got to kind of take less than what they want, opposed to what they were getting. And we went and saw a house last year. Nice. The house was nice. It was probably like 10 people in this house. And eventually the person who got the house, they bid $100,000 over the price of the house. Remember that, Walter? The one that had the nice big, yard in the back, and $100,000 over what the price was worth. And
you talking about the house that was $230 in that corner, the beautiful neighborhood.
Yes. Somebody bid but the house was only worth $170,000, but they were asking so much for it because the market was so hot. But it was worth $170 because it used to be in the flood zone. They said they fixed it, but so the real estate agent had to tell people, y'all know that y'all are already bidding, roughly, what is it? I don't know, $40,000, $50,000 more than the house is worth, but you're going to bid even more over on top of that. So we just have to tell y'all that, but somebody bought it nevertheless. But I want to go back to this really quick. Let's see who else came on here. Al, I see you with your jokes. And Ralphie S., how you doing? And so you said something about if you have things together, right? If a man and a woman have things together, like a house, money, investments, and things like that, it's harder to leave. Well, there's been a couple of cases in the news.
A couple of cases.
Yeah, a couple, but I'm just saying high-profile cases. And I guess, we know about them because they are high-profile, but Tom Brady and Giselle, looks like they're going for a divorce.
But they have stuff individually. They are both mega approaching billionaire status, the two of them. So that is a difference. They came to the table with hundreds of millions themselves. But I guarantee you, Gisela knows where his money is. I guarantee you. It's a smart girl.
Right. So, but I guess I'm saying is, sometimes that's not enough.
We can't talk about Tom Brady, like the greatest of all time, the greatest supermodel of all time, the greatest football quarterback of all time. I mean, like those two, let's take them off the table. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about Pookie and Ray Ray, or Pookie and Shanika. You know, like, let's talk about everyday people. If I'm telling you, and I know from experience, I can tell you this, I know, because I've been married before and I've dated women, and most of the women I've dated, I've taken care of everything. My girl throw it in my face. I'm not one of those girls that you have to buy everything for, take care of. I'm not a stay-at-home chick. I get mine. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes she talks too much. But like, so I'm like, you know, I need to go. I'm tired of this shit. And I'm going, damn, we got this property over here. She probably gonna want this much. I ain't ready to let that go. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, we got this. And we just went to France and ordered 75 bottles of wine. And I ain't trying to split that. So sometimes I shut my mouth. I'll be like, okay, the hell with it. I'm gonna deal with it. I'm gonna wait till she get home. I'm gonna switch gears. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't have nothing together, you're like, I'm out of here, girl. That's how I know I was Chris Tucker. Like, man, and trust me, ladies, men, get in each other's world. Hey, baby, how you doing? This is the first date, I understand. But like, Experian.com, show me what you're working with. And if it's bad, I want to know. If you got a 420 FICO score, okay, let me help you build it. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? If you got a 720 FICO score and I got a 420, let's meet in the middle, because you guys meet in the middle anyways. You know what I'm saying? So, and I've dated 2 or 3 women in the past, and I had to build their credit, pay off some breast implants, and do this, and do some crazy stuff. I mean, I've done some stupid stuff in my dating life, but I tried to get them on my level. You know one in particular I'm talking about. I'm gonna leave it alone. But like, if you are entangled in each other's stuff and you are building together, then it's easy. It's easier for you to stick it out, because sometimes arguments of, you'll say something to your wife, the people you love the most, you will say the crappiest things to over money. So if you guys are like, even if you're not on the same page, but you're trying to be, you can help each other out. Like, my girlfriend just bought this crappy property in Texas, joined some investment group, and she got killed. And I had to go in and say, like, clean it up and get her out of the deal. But if she didn't tell me about the deal, I couldn't have fixed it. But because I knew about it and I went down and met her partners, that's the lady we was doing the backyard book, the bubble gum in the backyard on my story that time. I got to know these fools. So when things got tough, I was like, I got it. I know you tried to go on your own. That was cute, but I'll go fix it. If I didn't know about it, I couldn't fix it. Do you understand what I'm saying? And there's times when my girl had to help me get out of a situation. So if you know stuff about each other, it's harder to leave.
But let me ask you this. Let me ask you, why do you think people have a hard time getting that that question up front? Like you said, on the first date. Why do you think people have a hard time with that?
Because they ain't got shit, or they embarrassed. Because I tell you what, if my stuff is together, and I'm like, and it takes time to get going, because when I was 20 and 30, I would date a girl, didn't matter. She was cute, had long hair and a big booty, like homeboy with the beard. You know what? I might have said, the hell with it. My financial stability is not important. Right now, I'm just thinking with little man. But as I got older, I started to go, no. Like, and I have this thing, you know, and I joke about it. Somebody say, what you doing tonight? We're going out to the club, we're getting some girls, and I'm like, no, that's too much money. It's going to take away from my net worth. You know what I'm saying? That's why they got TikTok and baby oil, and it's free.
Let me ask you, nasty. How much would you say you typically spend on, and let's say you on the first date because you're involved, but how much would you typically spend, and how much would you advise a man to spend on the first date?
Gas to the park, the blanket for the picnic, the cost of the wine, and the basket. We would go meet. If I was going to do a first date again, I would say, okay, I'm going to meet you at the beach, and I'll bring some things. We can, you know, I'll bring some champagne, and we can just chill. That's it. Because you learn a lot of things about somebody in a quiet environment, just the two of you. If I'm pulling up to the Mastro Steakhouse and I got an $800 bill on my mind and valet and all these things. And it's loud and noisy in there. And the waitress is like, oh, would you like this bottle of Prisoner? And I know it's only $40 a bottle, but they come in like it's $90 a glass. I'm thinking all that stuff. If I'm at the beach, it's just me and her. If I'm at the park, or hey, you know what? Why don't we meet and we'll take a walk? That's what I would do as a first date, because I want to get to know you. And fellas, if you got your stuff together, booty is everywhere. Booty is everywhere, period. And I know women, y'all, men hit on y'all all day. I get it. But like, so that's what I would do. And I see these brothers, because I know that was me out on the first date trying to impress this chick. I'm like, if I got to take you to an $800 steakhouse, then you're not the one. Because the woman that I'm trying to date is not the type of woman. And what kind of woman are you to suck a man at a 5-star restaurant for $800 on a first date?
Okay, wait. He doesn't mean suck a man literally. He means suck his dry.
No,
suck his money.
No, I mean, like, I'm talking about suck his finances, like suck the blood out of him financially, you freaks, you nasty. I'm just saying, like to suck, you know what I'm saying? Like to suck the blood out of his pocket. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, block your pockets, all right? Like, you gotta protect yourselves. Like, geez, that's what I'm talking about. You don't want to get with a man that's gonna blow that kind of money on the first date, because how's he gonna behave during the rest of the relationship? And if he cheat on you, he gonna be doing it with them. You want the kind of guy, if he cheat on you, he going to the beach and he ain't spending much. He not messing with your mortgage money with his side chick. I mean, there's all kind of reasons to start cheap. And ladies, isn't it cool to bring something to the table? Like, I was watching this Love and Hip Hop show.
When I hear men say that, I got to ask, what as a man, and then we're going to get to your question in just a second. As a man, what do you want a woman to bring to the table? Because I hear men say that a lot. And it's kind of like, no, I haven't gotten a straight answer. So what does a woman need to bring to the table?
Effort. Like, so when I meet a woman, and it's been a long years and years since I was in a situation on the first date. Like, even me and my girl that I date now, first of all, we kicked it for 3 months before I even touched her. So I got a chance, and that's another clue. Get to know the person first, right? So we talked about goals, dreams. You know, I was giving her stock tips and mutual fund advice, and we were talking about all kinds of stuff, insurance and investments. And, you know, we were talking about all that stuff before we even touched or were intimate. We were already in that type of stuff. So when I say bring something to the table, bring something to the table that can benefit us both. It doesn't have to be necessarily, like, if you don't have money, okay, I have goals and dreams. You can help me make the money. You can push me. That's what I'm talking about. Like, don't just because like long hair and breasts and cleavage, that stuff is played. I tell you, man, you got Juan Lee around the corner, and there's like 40 massage parlors an hour from my house. You women that think, oh, I got all this, and man, that ain't important no more. You got to come to the table with something. And you see, oh, I'm about to get in trouble. I hear women say all the time, how she get him? Oh, I see. It is what it is. And I hear women say, oh my God, how she get him? I tell you how she got him. She probably in his world. She know what he like to eat. She know, like, he get dressed and, you know, he has to be to work at 8. And at 7:30, I'm talking about a woman that's not working and backing up her man. He needs to be to work at 8, 7:30. His stuff is ready. So when he leaves, she has her world. Like, let me tell you how cold my ex-wife was. I used to take the kids my wife was a stay-at-home wife, and I used to take the kid, get them ready, and take them to school. Drop them off at school, and sometimes pick them up. I'll tell you a true story. I walked into a Nordstrom's, and I put my when I had American Express black card. What a beautiful time. And they go, you're Mr. Coulter. Oh, shoot. Now we know your wife. It was hilarious. But it's a true story. But the point I'm making is, if you just make sure he's straight, you have your freedom, your time to do what you want to do. So D, when you see those women at Nordstrom's or at the whatever the coffee shops you talk about, like you could be that woman, but you got to be pushing his buttons and not like, I'm sorry to keep quoting Love and Hip Hop. I can't get it out of my mind. Like, I know who Sanaya Reese is. Sanaya Reese, she fine. I get it. There's a bunch of beautiful women on Love and Hip Hop. That's the only reason I kept watching it. But I was like, man, there's some beautiful sisters out there. So I watched it for a few minutes, and she was in the studio with Jim Jones or whatever. I don't know what episode that was. And oh, Lord, here come all the women in the club fighting, and they screaming at each other. And I'm like, they lost me with all that. But you don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to do that if you know what your man is doing. Period. So, and women, y'all need to chill sometimes. Give a brother a break. Like, seriously. So you don't do that Kanye thing to you.
So Al has a question, and both of your opinions. What is an average decent tip? Normally, I think it tells you on the receipt, you know, 10, 15, 20, or however much it is. I mean, me personally, I always tip. I can't think of the last time I haven't tipped. Even if the service is not that good, I'll leave it. I'll leave, you know, I guess the minimum if it's not that good. But for me to leave an exceptional tip, the service has to be exceptional. You know, and when I say exceptional, I think for me, if they're just, you come in every once in a while, ask me if I need some water, get my drink refilled, or how y'all doing, whatever. If you're doing that, I'll tip you good. You know what I mean? But if I ain't seen you since the last time you dropped the plate off, and you know the cups are empty, and you know we might need a fork or something, and then yeah, you're probably just gonna get the minimum tip. But I think that when you go out to eat, you should factor in the tip. That, to me, I'm gonna just keep it real. There's nothing. Well, there's other embarrassing things, but it's really embarrassing to eat out with people and they arguing over the tip. I really even know tip. And admittedly, I don't really hang out with people like that. But I mean, factor in the tip when you go out to eat. Because I've heard people say, well, you know, people think I just can, I can't afford to leave no tip. I'm going out to eat, and I can only. Well, then you should stay home. And I know that sounds kind of elitist, but
no, it's the truth. It's the truth. You should stay your behind home or go somewhere where you don't have to tip. That's it. Like, there's nothing wrong. And you guys, I'm telling you, we are on the precipice of destruction financially. Go somewhere where you don't have to tip. That's it. I'm telling you, man, I've been in that situation when you take a girl out, and I've been out with women, and she's like, oh, I'll take this, I'll take that, oh, I'll take this. Man, I had a girl trying to order a $300 bottle of wine on me one time. I was like, girl, I will shake the hell out of you in front of all this staff. The wait staff, everybody will be videotaping me, dragging you out of this restaurant. Like, go somewhere, you ain't got to do all that. You guys, and honestly, like for my daughters, I would rather them be with a man that is going to take care of their future. Period. I know my daughter Brittany, her man is, you know, I don't want to use the word cheap, but I know for a fact that they're stacking money and they don't really go do all this stuff. But like, I know if something happens, like I know that she's taken care of, period. And same with my daughter Morgan. I'm like, get with you a man, you know, when you get 30 or 40, whenever it's okay for you to date. And you make sure that he can have your back and you can have his. Because if you get the money out of the way first, a lot of that other stuff disappears. Oh, baby, like I want this car, or I want this. Like all the fights you go through, that stuff disappears. And you know what I love is when I do go out to eat and the bill comes and my woman's like, I got it. Sometimes we have to fight over the check. No, you got it last time. That stuff lasts longer for me because I know if we go out to dinner and we spend $100 at dinner and she pays, but I'm taking care of the house and the home and all that stuff, that means I have $100 that I can put toward JP Morgan. You know what I'm saying? That's 100 options at $1 each. That's 100 stock options. That's a full contract, $100. you understand what I'm saying? And I'm not saying don't do anything. I'm just saying there's ways to go about it. Like you have to, first of all, when you get $1, you got to put 20 cents away. I don't care what happens, because emergencies don't pop up when you stack money. And somebody says, well, people keep asking me for money. Stop taking their call. Don't take their phone call. I hate to do this to you, then don't do it. That's it. And no is the strongest word in the dictionary. No, I can't do it. Because for every dollar that I spend with you, loaning you money at the side chick or the crazy first date dinner, that's money out of your investments. There's nothing like being 70 years old and not having cash. Like, just think about it. Even if you're 50 and you're watching this and you save, okay, you know what? I'm going to save $200-300 a month. By the time you get 70, with proper money management, investments, and management of your expenses, you will have hundreds of thousands of dollars saved. You can go to Mexico right now and buy a house for $100,000 in most parts of Mexico. They finance homes too. In San Rafael, San Felipe. I was can't remember where I was in Mexico a couple months ago. Americans are going down there and they have banks financing homes for Americans. Or in France, their interest rate right now on a 25-year mortgage is 2% interest. That's high for them. 2% interest is high for France. So when I was talking to one of the girls there, you know, because I've been just shopping around, actually strongly considering buying a house there. And I was like, interest rates are only 2% and you do a 25-year mortgage here? I go, what do I need to qualify? She goes, we just check your record. That's their version of credit. And that's it. I go, so you mean if I'm 70 years old and I only have $300,000 to my name, I can go to a foreign country and buy a piece of real estate and I could live like amazing lifestyle? Wouldn't that make more sense? Or if the Philippines, I mean, shit, white men in their 70s been doing this shit for decades. Man, I'm not saying you need to like go all out like that, but like the point I'm making is even if you start late, you can still do it. But every dollar you spend wasting on some chick or some dude, ladies, I see you doing it. It burns my butt to see a woman out and a man, and sometimes your woman get the bill, but you can just kind of tell like when she's getting it. You know what I'm saying? It's like the time I went out to dinner with Keisha Cole, and I'm like, I got you, and all these dudes showed up. Like 10 dudes showed up, and the check came, and nobody moved. And she went to grab her wallet. I was like, no, you're not paying for these cats, and neither am I. We got to do better. So when you get money, put it away. And if your girl or your man, they don't like it that you didn't take them to Master of Steakhouse, then imagine what they would do to you later. Because when you first start dating somebody, everything is cool. Oh yeah, he's the greatest, whatever the songs they sing. Oh my God, Halo. And then to be talking about you can't break my soul. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine when it gets to that point, what it will look like. So protect your pockets at all costs. And besides, when your money is better, you treat your wife better, your girlfriend, your man. When people treat each other better when their money is in order. I know the fights me and my girlfriend had when we were struggling financially. And when I mean we weren't getting along, whatever. I know what the fights were like when it wasn't the way it is now. It was horrible. So things are much better now.
Absolutely. Yeah. And, you know, I know a lot of people do struggle with that question of, and hello to everybody who came on here. I know a lot of people do struggle with the question of, like I say, if you want to date somebody going on a date, getting the serious questions up front. A lot of people, maybe they're just going on a date just to have some fun. But some people, I would say most people, are going to date with a purpose. And so I think if you're dating with a purpose, you should ask those questions up front. And again, I kind of hate that question of where do you see yourself in 5 years? Because I just think it's a canned question that we are trained and taught to ask people. I'm cool with knowing what you're going to do within the next 6 months, you know, or the next year, because some people don't even have that. But if the person answers that, well, my intentions for you is I potentially, or on the first date, I eventually want to get married. To you, if it's to you, I don't know, but let's court or whatever. I think we should find those things out. Do you intend on getting married eventually? Yeah, intend on getting married. I don't want to date or be a bachelor forever. Great. And then eventually, yeah, you do have those conversations about finances, because a lot of people get together and on the outside, a lot of people can look like money, right? I mean, how many people do we actually know? They look like money, they walk, talk, they smell like money, they driving like money. But then one day they might say, hey, you think you can loan me $20? And you're like, wait a minute, you ain't got $20 in that Louis bag? Well, how do you put gas in your Mercedes? And your hair, your nails, and the Jordans and all. So again, people can, especially on first dates. I heard this best like this. When people are getting to know each other, they usually send their representative. And it's not usually who they are, right? They dressed up to the nines, and oh yes, I like that too. Oh yes, yeah, I'm all about world affairs. Oh yes, I am a man of God, and all of that. They talk like that on the first date, but a couple of months up the road is like, what happened to that person that I met on the first date? We was vibing, and now you're a totally different person. And so we gotta trust but verify. We gotta make sure we know who it is that we are gonna potentially build something with, because we could potentially be building something on quicksand.
Yeah, you guys, and I go watch that episode. I don't know which episode it was of Love and Hip Hop. It's when have you ever seen the show, D? You ever watched it? I mean, you can admit.
I maybe a half an episode. I don't really even know what it's about, but I know what it is. I too don't watch a lot of mindless television. Sometimes, but I couldn't tell you, bro.
Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. When this Samaya Reese, she started, when she finally met Jim Jones, and I just learned who he was. Met his girlfriend, and some of the girls are sitting around talking about, well, we've been together 8 years and we got a kid, but we're not married. And he got these side chicks, and I just don't know what to do. What if he leave me? I'm thinking, you've been with this successful musician, whatever he is, for 8 years, and you haven't been stacking money up. Like, first of all, if you get with a baller and your job is just to do what you do for him, like I hear women say, oh, my man, I got a sugar daddy, he take care of me. So you just cool with your man being out, or your woman, vice versa, and he just taking care of you, she taking care of you, you cool with that? You don't know if it's going to stop. Like, you just like a child. Your daddy leave home or your mama leave home and she the breadwinner, what you going to do? I know you can never put yourself in that situation. And people, if you're the type of person, somebody's taking care of you and you're not helping them, like your woman got a business and you're not working, but you're not working that business. Oh, that's your fault. If you leave, if you get left. I can tell you, and I'm going to leave the names out, but one particular relationship I was in, I was like, you know what? And I was cold. I was not as nice as I am today. I was cold. And I told her, I said, let me be upfront, and I'm going to be straight. I leave here, you got on socks and sweats. You know what I'm saying? And not because we've been working out in the sheets. You just got socks and sweats on. So when I leave, that's what I see. I get home, that's what I see. Let me tell you what I see when I get to work. My secretary is in heels, her skirt's a little bit too short, and she smells good and her hair is down. And she's like, what's on our agenda? What do we need to get done? What can I do for you? And I say, and I'm just call me what you want to call me, because all the men in my office had women on the side, all of them, period. I didn't have one because I was scared. And my kids always getting up to the office. I didn't have time for a side chick. But I said, this woman, her perfume lingers. And I know you smell it when I get home. And I'm not even touching her. I said, so I'm going to let her go. And I want you to be my assistant. And you can put on heels and you get all dressed up and put on a little skirt. And we get home, the kids go to bed. We can play happy hour. And she said, I don't want to work for you. I was like, oh, cool. I don't understand. I still to this day, I don't get it. If your man or woman asks you to participate in their business, it's a yes. Even if you don't know what you're doing. Because I tell you, there's a lot of secretaries out there with your ex-husband's last name. Period. I know it sounds crazy, but like, I don't know. And let's be clear. I didn't say working woman over a housewife. I said if you are a housewife or a house husband and your spouse is asking you to participate, you do it. See, because you have to earn being a housewife or you have to earn being a house husband. Because you don't understand the word homemaker means to make the house. That means you take care of the dishes, the kids, you make the house. So when the breadwinner comes home with the bread, the house is ready for you to convert the bread into something that's edible. A housewife is not someone that just stays home and just chills all day and her husband takes care of everything. That's not that. No, you guys need to go back and watch Mad Men or that's the show you have me watch all the time or some of these shows. I'm not saying you need to be Bets, but like, man, you can learn from some of those women, like the Jeffersons. You know what I'm saying? Weezy didn't work.
Well, and you know what I do? I'm just one of those people. I love old stuff, old Hollywood. I just like nostalgia, if you will. So sometimes I watch things on YouTube like a day in the life of a 1950s woman or housewife or just different things like that. And I notice how, and like Walter said, a lot of times when we think of a housewife, especially in today's terms, so me and Walter are in our 50s, so we remember our mom as a stay-at-home mom. But my mom wasn't sitting home, watching Days of Our Lives. My mom was busy. She was, my mom could sew. And I don't want to deduce women in the house down to just cleaning, cooking, things like that. But a housewife or a woman who stays home and mans a household, she's actually the accountant. She could be a nurse. She could be the doctor. She's a consultant. She's, a consoler. She's so many other things. And if she is those things, it makes it easier for the man to go out into the world and do what he's doing so that she can keep that. And to me, it's hard to keep a house. To me, it is. And then to go out into the world, depending on what you do, and punch a clock for 8 hours a day. It's harder to do that at home. But when I watch these things on YouTube, the 1950s housewives, 1940s, whatever the case is, I noticed that the women actually have a schedule. And they're up before the kids and their husband, and they're getting the breakfast ready and making sure the kids have their books and their husband is, shirt and everything's ironed. Then they go off to the office and she, does her things around the house. And it says, she scheduled time for her. You guys remember the soap operas, the things that, our mamas and grandmamas and some of us still watch. I don't, but it was called soap operas for a reason because they marketed the commercials, and a lot of it was laundry detergent to housewives. And so they knew that during those times, housewives would be sitting down, maybe she's on her lunch break or whatever, and she would be partaking in soap operas. And so she had to schedule that time. So as I said, I know a lot of times people think housewives are just kicking it at home. Some of them are watching Jerry Springer or whatever. But if you're really doing it right, you are an asset to your family, and you are very busy throughout the day. A lot of housewives that are doing it right, they go to bed tired, whooped. So it's a hard job, but somebody's got to do it. And I would say this, as a product of a mother that stayed at home, I would say, well, I don't know about Walter as much, but we turned out pretty good. We turned out pretty good because we had a mom that was at home. We came home and she had, snacks and stuff ready. She made sure we sat down and did our homework. She poured time into us. She also educated us when we were at home and my dad is off, working in his business, things like that. And so I tend to find that people, for one, who have parents together at home and the mom stays at home, the kids seem like they're a little bit better off because they have that extra attention opposed to a mom that's going to work and coming home. And I was a mom that worked as well. So I've never had the benefit of staying home. But I would say I see that is true for myself and my siblings and other people that I know. So let me see here. Ma Egypt, how you doing? He says a trash video discussing period. Yeah, you talking about the video of Saucey Santana and Trina. Yeah, very disgusting. And Eric, I didn't say hello to you. How you doing? He says we should cancel the Democratic Party. Yeah, well, we could do that by voting for something else. And Rain says I would do it. I can keep my eye on my investment. Okay. Somebody says I know what a housewife is. Most people don't make the house in heels, right? Now, she don't make the house, but you know what? Some of the women back in the day actually did. It's weird because I've seen it. Like I said, I look at some of the videos and stuff on YouTube, the old school videos. Now, even if she didn't clean up the house and stuff in heels, when a man came home, she had him on. She had him on. She, make sure he was situated. Oh, hey, honey, how you doing? I know you had a hard day at work. Let me take your briefcase or your lunch pail. Go sit down. I'll bring you a drink. Or back then it was a newspaper and the slippers and all of that. Because there was actually an old article from Good Housekeeping that talked about the duties of a 1950s housewives. And a lot of women lost their stuff. They're like, oh, I would never do that. Oh, that's barbaric and this, that, and the other. But it's like, I think those people were a little bit better off, because they treated each other accordingly. Now, there was another part in that article that said, women, when your man comes in the door, the last thing he wants to hear is, oh, this happened, the kids. She said, let him do him for like 30 minutes.
Or 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 2 minutes. I mean, you don't have to be all damn night. And you guys, this is a good, the show, Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. I think it came on Amazon. I watched that.
Wait, so you finally started watching it?
I watched it. I watched all the episodes, and before he woke up, she put on her makeup and all that stuff. So when he woke up, she was already dressed. I have a friend of mine. Her and her husband went through some rough times, and I remember talking to her, and she goes, "You know what, Walter? We are a bunch of us having lunch, and she's like, my husband gets home, I keep my heels by the front door. When I hear the garage door open, I throw my heels on because I know he likes that. And I got his attention. He likes to see a woman in heels. There's something about heels, and it's true, ladies, and I know where y'all got away from this. There's something about the sound of heels hitting the ground that does something to a man. I cannot explain what it is. If you see a woman in heels versus tennis shoes and a dress, the woman in dress 9 times out of 10 has the attention. So she goes, I put my heels on when my man comes home. And some of the girls at the table was like, I ain't gonna do that. But I was like, ladies, she's the only one with a husband at this table. You can learn from this chick. She's telling you her relationship was rough. She went through all this stuff and she met her man in the middle. And sooner or later, if you're not willing to do that, he or she will find somebody that will do that. And does it make it right or wrong? Somebody says something about temptation. Like this whole thing with temptation, it is what it is. But like if you know what your man wants and you're not willing to do it, then you don't have anything to say when he leaves. Right? A relationship is a compromise, in my opinion. So if your man like heels, put them on. You don't have to wear them all night. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I'm just thinking if I was in a situation and I was a stay-at-home person and I was relying on somebody bringing the money home to me, first of all, I would be nervous as heck. I just think if I was a stay-at-home mom and my woman was like, a stay-at-home dad, and my girl was like, you know what, I love you in a blue suit. Shit, I have my blue suit ready. What's your ETA? So I put my suit on. I mean, what else are you doing? What else are you doing with your life? At the end of the day, what's the point of being with somebody 10, 15, 20 years and the relationship dissolves? You don't have nothing, you never saved nothing together. What's the point? You could have been watching cartoons. You understand what I'm saying? So why not meet in the middle? You guys, divorce is expensive. Side chicks are expensive. Cheating is expensive. That stuff costs too much money. Having a second phone bill. I know a dude that had his own apartment on the side. He had a phone number and an apartment on the side for his side goals. I go, dude, what kind of life is that? You got another apartment? Like, gee. So it's just easier. And the relationships are tough. Most of them end. And Lord knows I'm not an expert, But from the money side, I understand when I see couples that have been together a long time, they tend to have something that they work on together. Like me and my girlfriend own a piece of land together we're building on. And we get into the biggest fights once in a while. I remember one time I said, okay, I'm gonna cut you a check for the property. She's like, no, you ain't. It's worth more than that. I said, what do you think it's worth? It ain't. It's worth too much to sell. So I'm just thinking, and that was like the end of our conversation. And then we went our ways. I slept on the couch. She went upstairs. And the next day just kind of started over. You understand what I'm saying? So it's good. And like, I like some of the other cultures, like the Indians, like they match based on what their family can bring to the table. And I think that's okay. Right? You don't have to be marriage and desires. The Chinese show on, what is that? You know, the Netflix show, which is such a hot show, the Double Black Diamond, that's cool.
I've never watched it, but I've heard about it, but I've never watched it.
It's a good show. It's good. It's actually, it's tough for the modern woman. The modern woman, that's not her show. Like the man making the money and she aligns herself to get this dude that can take care of everything. It's a crazy show. But I don't think the modern woman is ready to hear what you need to do. You know, like in Asia, the way they used to anyways, teach their women to grow up to get a man. Now, they kept their men accountable. So there was difference. It wasn't like today where you line up for a man, he just do you bad. That ain't cool. So.
Absolutely. So anyway, we are going to get out of here. And hello, Ricky and Biblin. How are you doing? And who else came on here? And ADOS Dan, how are you doing? We're going to get out of here. I'm actually going to be traveling to Florida, where I'm going to be attending a funeral of my grandfather. He passed away a couple of days ago. So, but I will be back on Sunday. I'm just going to do a quick turnaround trip. So Donovan and I will be back here on Sunday for the Demetra K Show, and that will be live as well. So we love and appreciate y'all for being here. If y'all want to support the show, we have Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, and you can become a member, but at the very least, like the video. Hello, Frank. How are you doing? And everybody else that came on here. So we love and appreciate you. We will see y'all on Sunday live. Donovan and I, you guys, please be safe out there and do something fun, get some rest and all that. I will be safe. It was our grandfather. So he was almost 90 years old. So he lived I would say a long life. And, he left out of here knowing that he was loved and appreciated. And so, sad, but we are glad that he was able to live, full life. 90 nowadays is a blessing. And so we are grateful for that. So, and then Frankie said, your pops just passed away. Is that what you're saying? Well, if that's the case, my condolences. And that is very hard. I lost a mom, so I know what it's like to lose a parent. So anyway, we love y'all. We'll see y'all later. You guys be blessed. Peace.